Can one person read it out loud? Okay, I'll read it. Let us consider an example. An animation runs for 5 seconds. In the beginning, a polygon starts rotating from 0 degrees in clockwise direction. At the start of the second or the 2 seconds, the rotation value is 100. Then in the 3rd second, the value reaches 150. At the next second, the rotation stops and there is no rotation of the polygon. Last at the 5th second, it starts rotating anti-clockwise. So the first one is at 0 starts rotating. Sorry.
Animation runs for 5 seconds.
Yes, no? Time taken
is 5 seconds.
Exactly. Sorry, 5 seconds. So at the first second, किती जाता? Start जाता. Okay. I'll put it as 0, but you consider that as the first second. So it starts rotating. मागे किती जाता?
2 seconds.
Clockwise, minus angle.
Clockwise.
Minus angle. Clockwise means minus. Angle is decreasing.
Anti-clockwise is plus.
Minus.
So start होताना minus म्हणून उघडा असतो या. So what is the meaning? Minus means?
Angle is minus.
Now tell me in simple words. Angle म्हणजे काय म्हणजे clockwise. So if I am going anti-clockwise, what should I do? I should have plus then. Correct? What happens in the second?
We have to divide that 5 seconds into percentage.
Correct, sir. आम्ही आता सारखं correct answer सांगलो. मग काय लो? Let's take one step at a time. What happens in the second? Second.
100. Rotation value is 50.
So I'll consider this as my first name. Second. किती जाता?
100.
Rotation value past is
100.
So wait seconds कोण बोले?
कोण बोल seconds?
2 seconds करे. 2 असा पहिली.
ठीक आहे नो? हां
होय,
ओके.
header.
Yes.
Seconds.
Okay. Good idea. मागील?
Will be 0 sir.
Yeah, but we'll consider it as 1 for now. ती 0 केन्ना जाता? Fullest step no? When you're converting that into that 0% and all the percentages what's are mentioned. So right now we are just doing it. Problem मेवला आती we are solving it.
3rd second one.
For 2 seconds,
Yes.
rotation is 100. Correct.
Sorry, क्या? मागील? 3rd second किती जाता?
150.
The value changes to 4th second cover, in cover.
Stop.
Rotation stops. Very good. Very important point. आता stop कसो दाखोवपाचो?
Same value.
0 घालपाचो?
360.
Previous value.
360 घायला किती जातले? ओतून.
Same
So
value.
now my question is, we are at 50 and in the next second I want no changes, no rotation.
150.
Correct. So 150 next second ला 150 दोता change जातले आणि no, that means there is no rotation. Very important point, sir. And that's how. आता last किती करचे पडले? So to go back, so regard 360 घेता, you can give it a negative value. ना reverse वचपाक positive दवरचो पडलो तेका. So हे कितें जातालें वयले काय ते
Negative.
because you're making them clockwise. Plus one. Or you can take any value between that. 360 चेर काबार जाता. हो मायनस करचो पडलो न्हू. सो इतल्याक देखून तो क्लॉकवाइज रोटेट जाल्लो आसतलो. Now I am telling 360 anti-clockwise, so potto वयतलो आख्खो. See teachers, the important part here is not the code. Code no. The problem statement in front of you gives me this. Now sir pointed out a very important thing. तो म्हणलो zero मागीर कितले ते states आहे न्हू की frames घालताय ते. So हिंगा कितें जातालें ते?
सर हांगा -100 -150 आणि -150 येवपाक जाय न्ही. हां.
Sorry, machine ल्हानच आसा.
Sir, that 360 should be 0.
You can either take 360 or you can take 0.
So like
तो लागीं जातलो म्हणून. Okay, you can take another value. You can take 0 maybe to go back. No problem. You can take any one teacher. It will still rotate. I tried with 360, it rotates. जाता. So 0 गेलो त्याच्यान लेस जालो म्हणून जाता रोटेट. ते एंड आणि हे होती. एंड आणि स्टार्ट. Teachers, again, we are not speaking about the code. आता हिंगासोर की फ्रेम्स कन्वर्ट करतलो जाल्यार कितें करचें पडलें? एक स्टेप अजून उरला. One step is still remaining, and in that problem, yes. Teacher? Within 5 seconds. So yeah, values पर हम बोलेंगे ना. This is clockwise. Yes. Minus is
now is going back anti-clock.
Anti-clockwise.
So we have to repeat same step in positive.
Now
we will go back.
this will take it back, sir. This last step. So from negative 150, no, you're taking him back to 360. So it will still rotate. It does. You can try this in code later, but important is right now the problem I have put into this. Atun san key frames कशे काढपाचे? So what I mean to say, no sir, your point is right. Even if you put say 150 here, positive 150, it will still rotate. 360 चेरी तो rotate जातलो. 0 री जातलो कित्याक तो negative सान positive वयता पयली. See, the important idea, teacher, here is if I have to rotate it clockwise or anti-clockwise, कशे करपाचे ते दाखयला. Values, see, you will change on keyframes and see. Not a problem. And that's one of the purpose of the starter file. 5 सेकंड हाय कितें करचें पडलें एका सेकंडाक चेंज करूंक जाय न्हू. So now why I replace the 0, this would be my 0 state. ही जातली माझी 100 state. 100%, sorry. So how would I fill in all the others?
25, 50, 75.
So हिंगा 50 घालचो पडलो न्हू. हो जालो 75 आणि हो जालो 4 सेकंड आले कितें करपाक? 4 सेकंड आले. Then the problem will be realigned. No doubt you will not have the fixed state, but you will have 4 seconds. So then you have to
25 gives. 25, 50, 75, 100.
3 स्टेट आले जाल्यार कितें करपाचें? 3 कशे घेतली? It doesn't have to be equally divided. You can just go from 0 to 50, 100. Yes, yes.
Any three.
The idea you should have in your mind is it starts at 0%, and ends at 360%.
Sir, but
Or 100%, sorry. That is the
here,
360.
sir, your problem is specific ना.
Yes.
2 second touch कितने दाब?
Yes. That's why I wrote those 5 seconds.
So that 25, 50, 75 will change the time.
Not really.
It should be that 2 seconds should be 40%.
Why are you saying that?
Because what it's saying, at 2 seconds it should reach there.
Yeah.
So if you take 40 there, then it will be 2 seconds. And
No. Full hande matlab 5 seconds.
5 seconds
Oh.
divide by 5 this.
Wait, 5 seconds. And I'm going from 0 to 5. So if I divide 100 by 5, I'll get.
If we convert 5 seconds into 100%,
तू तशें करता.
yeah.
Okay. See, the seconds teachers are mentioned for you to know what is the value going to. Value. So, here तुझ्यान तुका जाय तशें घेवंक जाता. You can put even 33 there, like Saucer is saying, will work. The idea here is how the sequence value will be taken. And after this, no teachers, I will also explain that assignment which was given the polygon. तो का नोटताले तेजो न्हू. तो दाखयता तुमकां. And see, there were many cases where teachers asked, which is the right one? कोण right? तू सांगता तो right, हांवें केला तो right, कोणाचो code right? Now, yes, correct. Preparing tea also, no sir?
Yes.
The right one, no teachers, is the one which is running efficiently. Efficiently means it is using less number of functions and giving you that outcome. I'll show it to you on the Apoita. So don't worry about the code. After this, if I ask you to draw the keyframes now, Datale, keyframes draw karunga jata. So what will happen in the first one? Keyframe draw karunga I suppose.
0 1 0.
So top 0 चे रुई असतो नहीं असतो. And which side would it rotate? Clockwise नीचे नहीं होता नहीं होता. This side. So A side in. Now sir, if the problem was absent and I just show you the diagram, what would you know? Conclusive. It's rotating. Corning Mutala, then you can just maybe tilt it this way and show also.
Yes.
In the same one. The idea here is putting your idea in that form of a keyframe. Remember that flight which I had shown. Then Dakoila Baratunga call and that one is taking off, the other one is coming. So what happens in the second thing? Second state in Kidata? Here. Comes down. So, आता 100 तुकडे जो protector हा जाल्यार measure करूंक जाता. Otherwise, you can just show no 100 approximately कितलो देंवतलो तो. मागीर the question arises, what will you do in these states? What will happen to your diagrams? Hinga ha tinga thought to start. And last is that receipt. Now that value, sir, can be anything, any positive value to just show that no negative are some positive are. Important here is to understand when the problem statement is given to me, how do I convert it into my paperwork? Then I need to draw these. Now the problem that we have posted for you next, you will realize that you have to work it out now. Don't take anybody's help, teachers. And it is not to test you, it is to test if this method is working. If I want to show that I know everything, I will write from somebody else. Now that is, I'm Purigang Sangta in copy mark of Sarkenu exam. And I also don't promote that in my classes. It is unfair to the ones who know it then. So we are not checking how much you know and anything, just to know for us that if that this method will work of putting it into I look at you, now you're scared away. Yeah, Nikite. Okay. We'll see as the day goes how we are proceeding. Now, because there were a lot of requests for this one assignment. Code घेऊन जाय, photo मारून जाय, not required teachers. Just for you to know how the states were taken. Can I wipe this off? Because I require the board to show you this change. So, important is this is keyframes, drawing of keyframes, and these were the sequence values that I put. Okay, this was the table. Just for you to remember. Okay, teachers, don't look at the code first. Ashira, don't look at the code. If this was sent to you as a video, and if you understood the first part of what I explained, now you will tell me how you are supposed to go along. A problem question solve kar. What would you do first? Hello? Sir, machine code so dada. No sir, first would be that. No teachers. Now, I'm sure sir will be very happy to help you out. But the thing is, the reason why we are asking paperwork, it's completely different. Why we are asking Atha Kaudale. Now, if you look at this, many of us got this idea in our head that it must be rotation. Rotation, no? Rotate, try, then it didn't work. Because if you try to rotate, what happens? It is fixed to the shape. I'll tell you how I approach this problem, and I'm no different from your teachers because I'm also a teacher like you. When I looked at this, I changed this value. Here there was 100, Remember the first code that was 100 was here. So काढला 200 गायलो, हिंगा काढलो आणि हिंगा 200 गायलो. किती झाले शेपाचे? Only one word is changed. कोणाचे तकलेर हातोर पण गुण येता न्हू, तशें ताका गुण येला कशें दिसताले. And only that, then I rotated. But that was not what was required. Correct, no teachers? I'm sure this was the same way you went about it. But now, let's try the paper and pen method. Ada? So that polygon also that no? This code can be done with a square also. That's the reason what I've tried with this. Now, if you look at the first time it runs, and that is one of the reasons, I close this down. False and turn off the repeated forever. So it will do it once and then stop. Now at every time, if you look at it very closely, where does it start from? Who start करतो एक जाग्यार स्टार्ट करता म्हणजे वडोत मग मुखार येता 100 स्टार्ट जाता शुअर 150 चे स्टार्ट जाता starts at 200, watch it very closely, and then it pulls on 200 here, and then the next one starts. So, is it happening only once? How many times? 5 times, because there are 5 vertices. So 5 times it's going to happen. There were many questions asked. Where do we put the state? State. Hui galya, state hui galchi. Zayit janani challe that same question. See, how would you know how many states would be required is looking at what is the output, no? Kitle kode otta to. Ekuch ottala jal ekuch state astile ali, and you would put it up only in the first one. I just pull the code up now. I think we are all comfortable with this by now, no? Keyframe and timeline ke syntax problem na. So it would have been changed over here. Then you realize that again the next one's vertex is also changing. Many people who ask me the question like how do we go ahead with this? I ask for paperwork and paperwork I know ye check karun sutta like kela zare. Because if you are doing this here at 200, next one to draw kotta to hu etalo, you show it on 100 then no. 100 a chesan start atalo. That means to show what is the difference between the first diagram and the second diagram. That it started at 200 and then it pulled on to 100 and stopped. So that state is over. Then you turn.
So,
Yes, teacher.
before we start the paperwork, we have to change over here. So
No.
That means first we are working on PC. So
Now, PC, kide jata teacher? When we are given only this, no? Video that time, even Anay sir just uploads the video. I learnt one trick from Anay sir, and that is to find out what is changing between two diagrams. If you understand that, then it becomes easier.
Sir, आम्ही
Just-
see, we know that there one answer is 1 or 200 केलं.
होय.
परत back 100 more.
Yeah.
So only thing I wasted this labeling this 2, 3, 4 and the order.
See, this is one way of working it out. आता हेच दोन डायग्रामांनी करून जातले just to show what is changing, but teacher has done it in one. Now you went through the same problem I went through, teacher. I started with one state and I waited. कसो जातलो? And then if you name them.
आमचे मॅथ्स बुक असता पयली.
Yeah.
त्यांना खंय डायग्राम्स असतात. Like dash dash mention केले आणि हे. So that I recalled. That is why त्या हाणे केले only labeling I missed. First state I
First,
one घातलो and the next state I missed. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
But I had worked with only one state. That is why I have put one.
One.
Only one state I worked. I didn't know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
1, 2. Only one state is put. And the blocks are
टर्न म्हणजे किती जाणा तू नासिक
It shifts the point.
yes, it shifts the vertex, next vertex. So that is the next state. Yes, that is none. It looks like there is rotation. Teachers, auth method sarko म्हणून सांगना. What I'm trying to tell you is that you can pass the states directly to the shape also. Remember we had shown you one animated square in between. Basic square आले मग एक animate केले square आले. Here that is not required. You can pass the states directly to your basic code also.
So the reason why I maintained the graph book is that Anna sir had told in GC
Yeah.
to maintain the graph book. So everything remains over here. Pages केले आणि हांगा थंय पडटा आनी शेणटा सो एक बूक केलो न्ही जाल्यार बुकार उरता आनी एक सायडीन तुमचे नोट्स बरोवपाक मेळटा मेन
I was never a fan of notebooks. Yeah.
टिचरीने बरें केला
एक purpose is it? Okay. You know what is it? You can show teacher. Teacher, दुसऱ्याचे न्हू look at the paperwork. Paperwork now two teachers have got two different ideas of the paperwork. But then both are right. Wrong न्हू ते तेणी केला ते. Now let's come to this key frames. कितले states pass झाल्या? In the first one, why 200 is given and 100 for all? तो ऐकलो नव्हता रे तो. And when that state is over, what will happen to the next one? Next fellow will get 200. तो फुडें वयतलो, कोत्तो येता? 200. The third one. 200, 200, and we are back. So then if you put true and then you make it into a contain repeated forever, then it keeps showing up. But the reason why I don't turn it on first is because it just leads to confusion then. At the economics point, it is easier to understand what is changing.
So in the video, the trainer,
Yeah.
the last one is coming back to the original. The last one.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
then you can do that by putting original print and then
To come back, Ani Gaila says.
सर
Yes.
आनी एक कमेंटान येवपाक जाय that's what the first row represents the first state the second row
Second.
represents the second state
Here, no?
yes yes yeah I noticed केला
One idea that teacher Pallavi gives is she's saying, as you're writing the states and passing it on,
Yes.
just make a comment there. Yeah, it helps. Because,
According to the
sir,
device, 60 frames.
yeah, if you to original state yes.
sir I mean
Correct, sir.
actually it depends on your problem because I did it with just 2 frames 0 and 100
You used differently.
directly असे elastic कशी वाटतात
There is easing also. Now this one doesn't show that. There is bounce easing. So also dadota, also where is it? How that the seconds hand of the clock moves that way. These are different. This you can apply. See, the idea is not getting it exactly correct, teachers here. But for you to understand what is changing, I always ask this question to myself: what is changing? You look at a video, what is changing? Ball suppose bounce, Sata. What is changing? Correct. आता I am wrong that the position म्हणला तो wrong आणि y axis म्हणला तो सारको. No, because for teacher position meaning it's falling from top. Position. To avoid confusion, we said don't use the mathematical. That is the idea. We are not teaching maths. आता let's say ball falling. Okay. Starts at the top of the screen म्हणलं किती जातले? At the top of the screen. एक example घेऊया. हिंगासर 1 हा, 2 हा, 3 हा, 4 हा आणि हिंगा माझी स्क्रीन एंड जाता आणि हिंगा 5. So if I say it starts at the top of the screen, where will it start from? In this case, 5. ही स्क्रीन दिली जाल्यार तुम्ही कितें म्हणटली? सेम आन्सर तुम्ही हिंगा अप्लाय केलो आणि सेम थिंग अप्लाय करून ते सांग. सपोज द बॉल फॉल्स फ्रॉम हियर इन द फर्स्ट स्टेट हिंगा सर पडटा हाफ वे येता हिंगा रावता then it bounces in the third second and at the fourth second it rests. So how will you draw the key frames now? एक इथून की फ्रेमिंग बॉल वयर आसतलो सारको. दुसरे इथून किती जातले? मोदी येतलो. थर्ड इथून किती जातले? It will almost hit the ground. And for the fourth one, you will show it that it is resting. Or you can show in the third one slightly on top and put dots, dot, dot, dot to show that bounce.
draw the frame
Yes. तुका understand झालं न्हू टीचर? So this happens first and then you code it, teacher.
Side by side.
Saiba, so many methods of doing it.
Yes.
As I was speaking, teacher, true. If you check in our team, I was the one who was taking the most amount of time. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, it is okay for you to take time. Time गेला जाता. Time गेला जाता. But idea wrong convey जाऊन जाईल. That care we have to take. Slightly little more responsibility because we are trainers now. So this is okay now. Now the thing of paperwork, machine reduce the burden that was there reduces, no. So it's not that this way is right, that way is wrong, you follow my way, no, can't be done that. At the ball bouncing to me, dusre bhashan understand that. Can't stop you from that. Is it clear now, teachers? Oh, no? Okay. Shared now. The first one was put up in the group.
Sir, Amit, feedback was that based on the calls that I received from the other teachers.
Yes.
Okay, teachers, the methods explained on that day for this timeline, we had done a project with that's rotated, that's scaled, that's whatever, and the three main things,
Yes.
transformation that we apply.
Yes.
So some teachers, what they struggled with, they applied the transformation and they were struggling with the transformation because they thought we should relate it to the actual class that was taken. But actually the exercise which was given to us, that didn't relate to those transformations. Okay?
Exercise
And
was
that's why
that,
they struggled. They took too much of time for
Okay.
that. Because they related.
animated pentagon we should have
Otherwise,
taken.
our point of view would have been.
We took the
Okay.
animated pentagon and then we were
Then you were
They
struggling.
tried everything that sheared, which they did
Sure,
do at
basics
all.
we have to change.
And why? Because the full focus was on the transformations.
Transformations.
And the exercise did not relate it to that day's session.
Okay.
So
Maybe
it-
the problem statement could have
No,
been here, no?
there should have been some animation related to rotation, then
more examples.
translate, and then something, and then the complexity should have been increased. Suddenly that
So,
thing came.
dakoilo munto, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, understood. So we should have practiced more with those transformations and then.
When we explained the
Yeah.
logic to that, आम्ही बेस्ट टाइम वेस्ट केलो, that's rotated घालून, that's अशें जालें ट्राय केलें. हय.
We could have tried something without transformations also.
Okay. Yeah, maybe given a shape first, म्हणजे like polygon ने बेश्टो rotate करपाक पयलो.
For me, I
And
got
then
that
going on.
animation.
Then
Makes sense.
translate,
Correct.
then something.
That will be kept in mind, sure.
हाँ.
Now, I got what you're trying to say. Mean to say, yeah, take a basic one and then. See, teachers, what teachers are saying is valid feedback. Now, directly to
Even
dakoilo.
for handholding to design the
Yeah,
sessions,
will help.
नी आमकां कशें बरें.
It's a learning, teacher. It's a learning. So she's saying, poilo bisto, एक shape तरी दाखवून घाली where it turns like the polygon, and then we could have pulled his ears and all. Correct.
आणि frames दाखोवपा आतां तुमी म्हणिल्लें पळय.
Yeah.
100, 150,
Yeah.
full rotation, clockwise, anti-clockwise.
So started off with that.
Simple and very complex. Then mixing of all transformations.
All, and then finally giving that off.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay, now teachers, you need to solve this. Any photographs as a photo import na ka koणाचो. No kojo file is required. You just have to put the picture of your paperwork. आता मातशें डिस्कस करी नाका. जस्ट रीड वॉट इज आस्क्ड. एक सकल गायल्लें आहा कितें करूंक जाय पळय तें. तितलेंच जालें. आनी वयर ओके. लेट्स सी. Okay now? Teachers, now please don't talk. I'm just discuss kori na kai. How you understand the problem? Do it. Because the first one we solved together.
This is the activity which is already there as a 13, right? Now here there is no, you are not supposed to write a single sentence of the code, right? Complete analysis, right? So for that, no, you have to observe how they are moving, and of course I will not going to speak still more. You have to start working immediately, right? Without wasting the time. And in this there are certain questions are there. Definitely that questions I will put it on the screen, and accordingly that's the guidance, like what you are supposed to answer, how you are supposed to work. So that flow will be there. So that I will display. So you have, I think most of you have already seen, right? Teachers, most of you have seen activity. Okay. So I will just display the questions that how you are supposed to work.
So आम्ही पहिले बरेचदा एक पॅरेग्राफ
First thing is, out of following options, which function will be used to draw the shape? Right? Very simple. Whatever it is, right? Don't answer it. And for that also you need to make the analysis, right? Don't simply write the code. Because code is not expected here, very strictly. Right? Everything should be in your paperwork. Don't use code and to see. Because output you can see. This is 30. And second is which input becomes a changing input. Right? Now in this full scenario which you have seen, output scenario, right? 13th one. There are certain things which changes. So you have to identify. Now how many components are there in that output? 2 squares. So their behavior, right? How they are moving, why they are moving, right? So they are moving diagonally, if you see, right? Okay. What is the starting and ending value? This is more important for the 14th one, which is actually very simple. But when you see that, it's not. I mean, we'll discuss it later. And how many states are required to do this? The total number of the states you are using. Okay, so you have to see that. How many states you are using and how many times you are repeating. Right? So first 10 minutes I just want to observe what exactly you are doing. Okay? So please start. Right?
Out of following option, which function is to draw the shape?
So your workflow should be this paperwork. So normally आता किती आपण खंय सुरुवात सुरू करूंक जाय, खंय सोंपोवंक जाय, थोड्यां blackout. Help for. You can always follow them. If you have something additional thing, you can welcome. So तुम्ही किती observe केलें हे जाय, तुम्ही ते घालात. It should not be restricted only to this question. Just for your help. There is no code, there is no function. No, there is options of that. Yeah, there is no following option here.
So,
No,
here
1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute.
So here it is assumes that we have learned this lesson.
Correct.
Here, because the second question states that we have learned this lesson.
Yes, already you have learned.
Yes.
So you are supposed to see, use that part.
Yeah.
See, this is not first time, no.
Yeah.
You have done moving of star and all. I will not going to help you directly. First time. You have to think, put it on the paper. I will see that. Yes.
मागे तुम्ही solve करता जाय.
100%.
First you do it.
Yes.
Paper solve करता.
किती मार्क पडता And sorry to disturb you, there are no keyframes here. Just a plain sequence and nothing. There are no, don't go for keyframes. That part is over. Just use very simple. Graph paper. Correct? So we have here x and y axis, right? Now you have a block here, x square block, right? And it is moving diagonally. Then it stops here. And again it goes back. It is to and fro, right? When it moves, it doesn't move just automatically because some changes are taken place there, right? Some changes takes place, and so that square block is moving, right? Square is moving. And similarly, it comes here, and from here, it goes back to the correct. Now that day for session, one teacher asked me one question, right? What is that sign and how to? Actually, sir had explained it that day. Very well, he have taken up the complete, I think, major part into sine and cos, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Actually, the sine and cos the card, like this would have been very easy. No? Okay. I'll tell you a very simple thing. How to not to get confused with sine and cos. Right? Now, Jana, that translate Muttugat ki jata. What is the meaning of translate? It is moving, correct? Sir, translate Muttugat ki jata, sir. Sir, translate. Sir, very simple. It is moving. And why it is moving? Because either x or y or both are changed. Correct? Agree. Now here that block is moving from one corner and it is going toward the other. And then it, like a pendulum, it goes on. Correct? So somebody is forcing, that particular square to move from one point, go to the other point, then come back to the original point. Then again that continues. Correct? Now, if you consider the one moment, so in science it is called as one oscillation, or that is, sir, I have mentioned about wavelength. Yes or no?
Yes.
if you remember, wavelength,
Yes, sir.
right? So when this block moves from this measurement, right? This is a measurement, no? Some numbers. What is the measurement here? So 200 by 200. So what is the x-axis here? Value of x? 200. And y is what? Now what is happening here? When it moves, what is decreasing? Both are decreasing. Right? समजा एकच जर डिक्रीज झाला तर किती असेल? करेक्ट. इफ एकच जर डिक्रीज झाला तर किती असेल?
It would not have moved diagonally.
हा डायगोनली मूव होतो ना तो. करेक्ट.
Either X or Y.
Either x or y. It depends on either x is decreasing or y is decreasing, and the other side, if x is decreasing, y will remain constant, right? Correct. And you have done it, I think, when you were shifting that box, right, on exercise. You have done it, right? Now in this case, both are decreasing, and it is decreasing with the same decrement value, right? And finally it comes to here, right? And then it becomes 0, 0. Location of the square becomes 0, 0, right? It comes here. So minus 200, right? Negative sign, correct? And then again it comes back to here. Anybody can answer why it doesn't go this side? Why? What is that? Something which holds it back. Yes?
XY coordinate.
No, because if it is changing, it should go no further.
So what was the actually?
No. तो दुसऱ्यान परत येता न्हू. परत येता तो. See. No. Listen. My question is very simple. It goes here. End value काय देऊन असं त्याला. It looks like an end value, but it comes here and it again goes back. It follows reverse. So my question is very simple. So what is that? This particular square, when it comes here, it holds on.
परत एक line.
किती होता तो? Why?
Center point is holding.
Yeah. So that sign is playing their role. कळ्ळें तुमकां कितें तें? तो ब्लॉक सकयल वयता आनी थंयच्यान तो परत रिटर्न येता मॅडम. सो ते सायन जर घालना जाल्यार कितें जाता आसलें? तो सकयल वतलो. So that movement of, so one thing is now clear in the mind, that sign is managing that toggling, right? From that point till here, and then back to reverse. Okay?
What if we don't use sign?
Try it out.
Yeah.
See where it goes. You try it out and see where it goes. It will not return back. Okay? So that is one part. So here, how the sign is controlling the movement. Clear? Madam, clear? Any doubt? No, you have to do it on the paper. That's very important. And not coding. That's what I said. Today there is no coding. Absolutely.
सर आता एक क्वेश्चन येतलो की
Yeah.
साइन घेवप की कोसाइन घेवप हे पेपराचेर कशें
No.
करता?
Correct. The first thing is we have to understand the value of the sign. So that of course is the later part. First understand that this trigonometry, that sign helps us to take that square from here back to the original. Okay. So that one doubt has to be clear. We'll see that value here now. definitely. You can also try, you know, and then you can find out sin 90 म्हणजे किती आहे ना. But I will show you how to remember that. Okay, very unique way of remembering. Because definitely that is actually जेव्हा आम्ही एक ऑक्सिलेशन काबार करता, जसे सरांनी सांगला वेवलेंथ, right? वेवलेंथ आम्ही काबार करता. Then it comes back to the 2 pi. We'll see that later on. So I don't want to put all these terms and make you, you know, confusion, right? Now, yeah. So why it returns back? You understood? Sines. Yes. Clear? Because of trigonometry. That is sine. Now, second part is from here it moves to this location and it comes back to here. Now, what is this movement? Yeah. No, there is no timeline. No. See, my question is very simple. This block comes from here till here, and then it attains its original place, right? It goes to its original place. So, what is this total moment when it comes from here to here and back to here? It's diagonal. Path is diagonal, right? But what is that moment?
One oscillation.
One oscillation. One oscillation. That's very important to understand. It goes back and then it comes back to the original. Right? And that is what that 360 comes into picture. 360 from that code. Remember, we give that 360. That 360 comes there into that picture. Right? So, when we talk about, say, graph, sir has already, let's say, explained, right? Can you see this? Pen, color. So, it goes here, and then it comes here. So, this is one repetition, or one movement, right? You can say, you can call it as a wavelength, right? So, it comes from here. So, now you have to answer, okay? I'll ask you a very simple question, right? When it comes from here to here, first time, okay? The total is, you come from, this square comes from here to here and then goes back to here, correct? Okay. Now, if this square comes first time from here to here, then can you tell me what will be the?
90.
Yes. 90. Somebody said 90, no? It's 90, right? So, if I want to represent that translation from here to here, where will be the point here? No, where? Say, I will.
Top.
Here. Correct, no?
So it is 180.
180.
Zero is 0,0 is
Down.
1 minute. You have to tell me why it is 180. You have to tell me why it is 180.
because it is half of
It is not half.
1/4. Going back to 360, no?
Total
Sir, there is one confusion. Actually, that square is starting from the center. It will go to 200.
Okay.
It will go back to the
Correct.
minus 200
Correct.
and then come back. That is one oscillation.
Correct. So we are, see.
So now, if we are starting from there, no sir.
No. See, what I am asking you, it may start from the center.
No, anywhere.
Yeah.
But if it is starting from any point, suppose it is starting from that 200.
Yes.
Then it will go to that point.
Yes.
And then go beyond that same distance. It will go beyond that and then come back. That is one oscillation.
Okay. So it will come here.
Yeah, but it will go beyond and then come
so
back.
what we have done is we have taken one limit, upper limit of it. So assume that it is the upper limit. We can start from here also. What will happen? It will go back to here. It will come down and then come to here.
Yes, that is one oscillation.
So that is not a actually discussion point, right? Point is, suppose this is the extreme point, right? As we have seen, it moves here and then it comes back to here. Correct? Now my question is very simple. If it moves from here to here, how are we going to represent it? Or the representation can be also used by using circle. Correct? So what is happening is, when this box is moving, this square is moving from here to here. You are actually moving from here to. If you take this representation, you are moving from here to here.
Sir, got it.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
one oscillation represents 360,
Yes.
then that thing is 90.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
That is,
Correct. Okay.
yeah, that got it.
So the same thing has to be used for your assignment when you are doing the paper and pen analysis, right?
But
Yeah. But what? You start
तुम्ही
actually.
किती सांगलाय की फर्स्ट आम्ही हो लेसन पळयला बिफोर वी से वन लेसन इज डन ऑफ ट्रांजिशन जाल्यार स्टेट इज 0
Yeah.
because we are see so it
State
says
is what?
0 and it is rotating
State is also heroine.
and it is rotating as well as it is translating. It is rotating. The problem says it is rotating as well as it is translating.
So
for where there can be two instances where the state is 0 in both the transformation, and there can be another distinct option where state is 0 and state is 1
correct.
transformation. There are two options.
Yes.
Something
So now what we have how we are learning here? What we are learning here is that rotation is that is the reason why I said rotation will keep aside right now, because both things if we try to learn, there will be a confusion in learning. So first thing is we are learning only translation. So teacher had one question about rotation also. So I told her we'll keep that rotation in a sideways, and we'll try to concentrate on only the translation part. Clear, no?
आता जे आम्ही आता फॉलो करताय, would it help if it is solved with you along with us? जे question हा तो in what way to answer that? Would that help?
Yes.
So we'll do that after some time, like how we did for polygon in the morning. And that same thing applies. If I know to do it for a polygon, wouldn't I do it for a square?
Yes.
पॉलिगॉनाचे कान ओढले, स्क्वेअराचे ओढूंक लायले आता जातले न्हू. सो वील डू वन एक्झाम्पल विथ युअर वेर वी सॉल्व इट अलॉंग विथ यू, एंड देन वील सी हाउ द एक्टिविटी गोज. सारखे न्हू. सो थ्रू आउट द मॉर्निंग वॉट यू लर्न is still valid here also. It's just that in a different process, I would say, to solve those 4 questions which sir had put up. Okay, so we'll take one question at a time. We'll solve it. So that तितले माने confusion मातशें less जातले. There'll be less questions also. Okay with that?
Very okay.
Bodgis sir is with us here, and he will be addressing us now. So over to you.
A clear table is there. Right? We have taken theta as 0, 90, 180, 270 and 360. Right? Based on your requirement, I have just now changed the way we should go forward. Right? Now what we are doing here is, don't take tension right now. What is sine of 90? What will happen if sine of 0 will be there? Values are given here. Clear? Anybody have any doubt or any difficulty regarding reading of these values? Yes? This is clear? This table is clear? Very clear. Okay. Now, if I take sine of 90, okay? I am taking sine of 90, right? To say sine of 180, correct? Sine of 180. What will be the range here of the value? If I take this table, if I refer this table, Yes. What will be the range?
1 to 0.
See, you refer this. Can you see this? Right. So, if I take the sine of 90, sine of 90 is what?
1.
1. And then you go to the sine of 180. 0. So, what is the range of values here now? 1 to 0. Correct? If I multiply this is very interesting. If I multiply this with say 150 or say 200. So naturally here also. What will happen now? Very simple. Right? So what is happening to x and y axis? We are actually using this part, maybe x and y, and this part maybe xy of the where it is supposed to go, that range. This is the way how the manipulation takes place. So what happens actually, can you see here, first it goes from 0 to 90, correct? Value of sine changes from 0 to 1, clear? Right. Then it goes to from 90 to 180. Value changes from 1 to 0. Yes or no? Yes. After that, it goes from 180 to 270. The value changes from 0 to -1. Only sign changes. Correct? Yes. Only sign changes. Value remains. And then, when it covers the, that is the reason why I have put that circle. Actually, circle is the best way to understand the behavior of this sine and cos. Okay? So, what has happened here is, when we go from 270 to 360, this -1 becomes 0. Correct? Now, sometimes there is a, you will always, we cannot be under impression that always the value which is connected to this will be negative. Because if you are in, now you have a quadrant here. Everybody knows the quadrant? Everybody knows the quadrant? The BA or BCom. Quadrant, you know very well, correct? Now quadrant have 4 corners, right? 4 parts. What are the signs here? Plus, right? So value which is multiplied here will be always plus. Correct? Then here? Minus plus. Here? And here? Correct. So if your negative sign comes here, what will happen? If negative sign comes here, what will happen to your readings? Positive. Is that clear? Why it will become positive?
Negative into negative.
So why I have given this? This is an extreme example where sign can change. It may not be depending on this part. Because these are the values of only sine or cos. But whatever sign you multiply, whatever number you multiply, value you multiply with this, based on the sign of that, the readings will be decided or value will be decided. Or I will say now x value or y value will be decided. Translation has how many parameters? Input parameters? 2. Normally now, if we consider our understanding and our learning, what we have now? X and Y. Correct, no? So if in X and Y, if sine or cosines are involved of several these thetas which are given here, what will happen? The behavior will change, correct? And addition to that, if we multiply with some numbers, some values, translation value, what will happen? What will happen? It will go, now here I will write 200 into 1. 200, correct? Here only we are taking x or y, we are not taking both here. This is just to understand the value of either x or either y. Why it is 20? No, 200. 200, sir. Because moment I wrote 20, no? So now here, this will be, what will be this value?
0.
Correct. So it will go from 200 to 0. When you think it will come to 1? Now you tell me. What do you think? When it will come back to 200? Now see, it is moving from 90 to 180, correct? Sine of 90 is 1. Sine of 90 is 0. Right? Now what is happening? You are multiplying 200 to the both. Correct? Because that's the input parameter. Here you get 200, but here you get 0. When it will come to 100 now here? Wherever you know, wherever sine 90 is already there, when it will come to 270, that time this 200 will come. Minus 200 will come. This is the way how when trigonometry is involved in x and y, it influences the values. So this table is very important, and besides it, quadrant is important. हे दोन जर तुम्ही जर मातशे शिकलेत न्हू, I think everything will come online. I'm telling you that. हे तुमकां शिकपाची गरज ना, रेडी टेबल आसा तुमचे. आणि quadrant, if you want you can write, everybody have answered now. It is 1 1 minus 1 minus 1, or maybe minus and minus, and then you have a plus and minus. So this, if you know this and this table, your sine and cos will be very clear. Just put your head in there. And the toggle jata pay, to value खंयचो सांग, or additional दिता पय तुम्ही, तो value. Suppose आता toggling हांगा आमी 180 घेतला न्हू, हांगा toggle जाता काय straight अर्ध्याक वयता तो. In this example, toggle जाता काय अर्ध्याक वयता तो. हाफ वयता. करेक्ट न्हू? हाफ वयता तो. हांगा तो कितें करता? 1 to 0 वयता तो. सो अर्दो वयता. 1 अटेंड करूंक ना तेणी. सपोज जर तुका 1 करपाचो आहा जाल्यार तुका कितें घालचें पडलें हांगा? 270. So either side, somewhere it will try to move, because it is getting the value there. It is not 0. Even if it is minus 1, value is sustained there. It will not become 0. Correct?
And then 0 to 0 becomes 1 to 3.
Huh?
1
Which one?
from 0 to 360.
Huh?
One oscillation.
Correct. So from here to here,
One
there,
oscillation.
very nicely she has observed that when you go from 0 to here,
So graph curve.
yeah. But it's very interesting that when things move from here to here, it is one oscillation. That is what sir also said. Somebody had a difficulty, right? Or we can say one round. आम्ही इथे सर्कलाक कितें म्हणटा, एक राउंड मारलो म्हणटा, करेक्ट? परत आम्ही कितें करता, दुसरे कडेन वयता, तेच रिपीट करता. So values are repeating. Sine and cos, always the values are repeating. And that is the reason why it is used for, that toggling values, or maybe some movement to and fro and all. Pendulum. Teacher gave very nice example. So, कोणाक जर डिफिकल्टी हांगा आसा, because this is a basic, हांव सारको सकयल्या लेवलाक गेला. डिफिकल्टी आसा, आतांच विचारा, क्लियर करूया. Besides this, if it is possible, also keep this in mind. This is x-axis, y-axis, 0, 0, correct? And आम्ही कितें करता जाणा, एका unit circle म्हणटा. Why it is called unit circle? Because in mathematics, trigonometry जर खुबशे तूं मॅनेज करतलो, जाल्यार तुका ते रेडियस घेवंक जायना. मागीर तो आनीक तुका कॅल्क्युलेशन बर्डन घालता. So what you are doing is, तूं रेडियस एक धरता युनिट. आणि मागीर तूं सगळें तेजें कितें आसा तें करता. Suppose if here, this is, if I draw a line here, what is happening is, angle is 0 here. What will be the sin theta at this location? Yes. What will be cos theta at this location? Which is there in the table there. Correct? Now, it rotates, right? It rotates. Suppose if it, आता rotation भी काय ना, don't go into that. Rotation and translation are. We are actually understanding the behavior of sine and cos. कळलं तुमका? So, and this table is very closely linked to this particular diagram and explanation also. जेन्ना हे हांगासल्यान तुम्ही अशी हांगा y कडे वयता, angle becomes what? 90. कळ्ळें कित्याक तो 90? Everybody got why it is 90? It is 90. Now, what will be the cos of 90 and sin of 90 at this location? Correct? So, हांगा कितें जाता? Cos will be, cos of 0 will be 1.
Sin of 0.
Sin of 0 will be 0. अशें बरोबर. हे क्लियर जालें. आनी टेन्शनूच ना वयता. So x axis कितें आसा हांगा? हांगा x axis कितें आसा? Cos. X axis सान तो एक पायथागोरस theorem उदर ड्रॉ केल्लो ते ट्रायंगल. रिमेंबर? हांव पायथागोरसा वचना. कित्याक मागीर आनीक डीप जातलें, थोड्यांक डिफिकल्टी जातली. सो आमी हांगा पर्यंत समजोया कितें तें. करेक्ट? हो सर्कल व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट, युनिट सर्कल. हेचेर सगळ्यांक तुमकां कळोवंक शकता फुल बिहेवियर ऑफ sin theta and cos theta. So theta म्हणजे angle. So here angle is 0. Sin cos of 0 is 1, which is x axis, and sin of 0 is 0, which is y axis. So हे x axis जाता आणि हे y axis. कळ्ळें? बेश्टी बरोवन घेवं नाका, समजून घ्या. डिफिकल्टी आहा विचारा. हो कॉन्सेप्ट जालो काय ना काय हांव मागीर हात सोडटलो हात वयर, मागीर तुमी एनालिसीस करपाचें. बिकॉज आय अंडरस्टूड वेर यू आर फेसिंग द प्रॉब्लम. Correct? Now I am moving again towards the 90 degree. So आता किती आता हे पळय अशें मूव जालें न्हू. Correct? What is happening? It comes to 90 degree. Correct? Now 90 degree जे आसा, so I will write here cos of 90. Correct? And sin of 90. आता हांगा किती जाता? Follow the table. 0,1. Yes, teacher. Teacher एक कळा असलेला. 0,9. तुझे सगळे बाकीचे डाउट्स क्लियर जातले. राइट? सो हांगा cos of 90 आसा पळय तो 0 जाता. नाउ cos of 90 किती आसा? x or y? Cos of 90 किती आसा हांगा? x आसा. What is that? 0. So 0, sin of 90 is what? 1. So 0,1. So this will be what? This one. Provided this is 1. This is called as unit circle. Always remember. मागीर आमी कितें करता? Yes. Now from here we move on to 180 degree. Correct? Right? Now 180 degree जाता पळय तेन्ना कितें जाता? This is 180 degree now. This is 90 and this is 180. 180 जाताना किती जाता? मॅडम सांग आता तू.
Cos 180 equal to
Very good. Cos of 180 किती जाता?
0
Minus cos
Yes.
So
Right?
it should be
This is minus 1,
minus 1 comma 0.
0. झाले? क्लियर राहिले?
Yes.
आता याद दवरपाक जाय तुमकां काय कळटा राईट. आणि त्याच्या नंतर कितें आसा मागीर येस आज
X axis.
पायथागोरस शिकोवंक फुडें शिकोवंक जाल्यार शिकयता शिकोवपाक काय ना. आय विल टेल फॉर दॅट ऑल्सो व्हेरी सिंपल थिंग इज देयर वाय वी आर टेकिंग पॉज फर्स्ट राईट. ओके शी should I explain her
No, it was
or I should
explained by Anessa.
okay so आता explain करू नका.
It will be there on list which was absent. She was absent.
तुका जाय जाल्यार explain करता. Actually it's very simple. तुम्ही जेन्ना हांगा ड्रॉ करता अशें राईट. ओके कॉज कितें जाता कॉज हो समजा थिटा जाला न्हू जाल्यार कॉज आसता पळय that is always x is involved there divided by hypotenuse which is 1 because unit circle no so this becomes 1 h is equal to 1 hypotenuse. So जाता कशें because x is involved there unit circle is there so h is equal to 1 so cos becomes what x. So x coordinate कितें जाता cos जाता. सायनाचे कशें जाता तुम्ही फाइंड आउट. Sin is very simple. Sin is what? Y divided by h. So it becomes sin will be equal to y. It is theta. So you can remember this. Why it is cos always comes as a x and y sin comes as a y. Okay. Okay. Now here this you attained this 180 degree. Now I am moving toward the 270. So this here. आता तुम्ही सांगा anybody. So I will write first angle. First direct value घेऊ नका. Cos 270. Sin 270. So value किती आलो? 0 minus okay madam and then back 360 this is 270 मागीर कितें जातलें back 2 pi जालें किंवा 360 जालें so 360 कितें जातलें here 360 कितें जातलें cos of 360 sin of 360 so that becomes what yes 1 comma which is also equal to 0 so you can see here these two values are same. Just try to recap this. Okay, I'll give you some 2 minutes. Try to recap. If you have not understood, then please ready with the questions. Correct? If I change it to 0 and 180, say for example, 0 to 360. Say I'll take 360. What will be the range of value? Say 200 is the reading value which we are multiplying to that, right? So now you tell me the reading. Zero to zero. So actually, although it is 0 to 0, but it goes and then come back to the 0. Right? So if it is from origin, what will happen? It will go back. It will go to the wherever it has to go, then come back, and then come back to the 0 again. म्हणून ते 0 to 0. आता हांव समजा हे 90 घेतले 90 to 270. Okay, teacher said 270. Now what will be the value? 200 to minus 200. So oscillation complete केन्ना जाता टीचर? एक राउंड केन्ना जाता complete? सर्कल आता एक राउंड केन्ना complete जाता? Which angle? Yes.
360.
Yes. टीचरीन बेस्ट सांगले. टीचर जेन्ना सावड्डेच्यान पणजे येता आणि पणजेच्यान परत सावड्डे वयता 360 काबार जाता. सर क्लियर? So I hope you understood. Now this is the base. आता हे कळलं असतले. तुम्ही आता जेन्ना आम्ही पळय हे जेन्ना तू जाता तर आम्ही आता आम्ही किती See, what is happening here? Now this block, there are two blocks, right? One is in first quadrant, second is in second quadrant, correct? But when they move diagonally, this square moves from first quadrant to the third quadrant, correct? And the second square, it moves from second quadrant to the fourth quadrant. So you have to understand that some changes may take place in the reading because the sign is changing of x and y. Although values you may take positive. So the change in the sign takes you to that particular quadrant. You understood? And that's the reason why it moves in that particular fashion. So you can give several other values of sine and cos also, and you will see that things are moving in different ways. Like as sir said, if you put x and y, if you involve their sine and cos, it will start rotating also. It will actually go into rotation. You know why? त्याच्या फाटल्यान सुद्धा हो कॉन्सेप्ट आसा. पळयत नाले घरा वचून. If you try to see x and y जेन्ना sine आणि cos असता, why it rotates? Because of this fundamentals. हांगा तुम्ही एक पळयला जेन्ना आमी ती सिलेक्टेड डिग्रीज वयता तेन्ना आमकां एकच व्हॅल्यू असता आयदर x or y, correct? We don't get both values. But you think same thing remains in middle? Somewhere in theta is equal to 130, theta is equal to minus 130? No. सायनाचो व्हॅल्यू असतो कॉसाचो व्हॅल्यू असतो.
होय कितें आमी पेंटागॉन केला.
करेक्ट.
ताका व्हॅल्यू जायल्या.
करेक्ट.
72 140.
So आता तुमकां पेंटागॉन इजी जातलो if you refer this.
Yes.
So this is the foundation for sine and cos. म्हाका दिसना की आणि तुमकां आणि इतले सकयल्या लेवलाक आणि कोण बिकॉज हेच्या सकयल आणि कांयच ना आसा. दिस इज द लास्ट सारखे. दिस इज द लास्ट फायनल फाउंडेशन. And you refer this. ते पळयता आणि सकयल जमीन आहा. Okay, so I'll wrap up for this. Please use this, right? Use this thing. Teacher, you understand? Yes. Now, actually, see, the problem is what, I'll tell you. Yes, teacher. Yeah. The problem is what, when you see this sine and cos, you don't feel that it will going to play so much role in movement.
Yes.
But the combination of it will definitely influences the, translation motion or rotational motion, linear motion, linear or rotational motion, right? No, wrong. You code code.
ना सर म्हणून ते हे करू नका सिमिलर एक्झाम्पल एक घेऊन आमकां दाखवा.
Yes, yes,
The ground of the side दाखवा.
have given you one assignment, correct? Where one square is rotating and simultaneously other square is. You think by learning this, you can understand that. Teacher, please pay attention. Otherwise, what will happen? See, if you have not understood that, no, that means you have not understood this. I'll challenge you on this. I'll challenge you. If you are asking me how that rotation takes place and toggling takes place, that means you have not understood this. So if you have doubt, no, please ask me. This is very important. That's what I said. If you can understand this, no teacher, you will understand that also. म्हणून सांगले एक दीस घ्या तुम्ही आयज बरे भशेन घरात तुम्ही and then you ask me because तुम्ही जर तुमच्या पद्धतीन करीत न्हू it is more effective. तुम्ही केन्नाच विसरची ना अशें म्हाका दिसता. आणि it is very closely related to this. It is very closely related to this. Teachers, second activity एक दिल्या. Okay? That activity is very simple. But it has lot to tell you, right? It is very simple. It draws the circle. You have seen that activity 14? Just go through that. Just see. Paper work. Okay. You सांगा नो. तिका एक डिफिकल्टी आसली एका टीचरीक, राइट? I just want to share. ती म्हणटा कितें की हे जे आसा पळय हे कशें करपाचे ग्राफ पेपरार वेरी डिफिकल्टी. इट्स नॉट कितें म्हणटा तेका भुरग्याची अशी न्हू ती. इट्स अ वॅलिड. तुम्ही जशें हांगा सर्कल काडटा न्हू तशें पयलीं सर्कल काडा, करेक्ट? आतां हितून सर्कल काडटना तुम्ही रेडियस चेंज करतली काय तुम्ही कंपास घेऊन सारखे सिस्टमॅटिक काडटली? करेक्ट न्हू? ग्राफ पेपर you are bound to use the compass. एकदा तुवें कंपास काडलो आनी हे ड्रॉ केले न्हू आनी वन बाय वन जेन्ना हे सगळे करतले न्हू यू विल गेट आयडिया. यूज प्रोटेक्टर. कितें जाता हितून? कितें जाता कितें? नो what is happening here? Sorry. One more. Suppose if 200 काढले तर किती आणले? Will you able to see the animation here?
No.
1 to 1, no? 1 to 1. असं vibrate करता. Or maybe like this. So तू जे distance दिता तितले मागीर कळेल. Do you have seen it? Have you seen it? Can you run it? किती आता इथून? किती आता? ओके, आज घरा चला परत पळया.
And you know what is the time now? So I have really got a very short span of time in which I need to deliver quite a lot. Okay? And I know I am fully empathetic with you all that this is not the time for this type of topic, but I cannot help it because I tried to shift it for tomorrow. That is not possible. I in fact asked her if I could shift it because I know what is the state at this time. Okay? But be empathetic towards me also. I also cannot help it. I try my level best.
कशें आसलें ना आमचे जोपर्यंत डाउट्स क्लियर आसा पयलीं तोपर्यंत आमी मूव जावपाक शकना. तोय मूव जावपाक शकना. डाउट्स घेवन जर आमी आयली जाल्यार तो मुखारलो कॉन्सेप्ट आमचो क्लियर जावचो.
Correct.
कळ्ळें? आनी वॉट एवर वी आर डुईंग आमी जो पेपर सॉल्व करतात तो आतां आमी अपलोड करतात. आतां पण करेक्ट असं काय ना की ते आमका डाऊट
Now there were many people who are asking, how do we know whether our paperwork is correct or not? What is the test for it? Why are we doing the paperwork? Is it for the program? Is it for the program? To understand. It is for our understanding whether we are following the right approach to get the desired output as mentioned. So if we are not getting the desired output, as good as our paper is wrong. Somewhere it is going wrong.
So that means we can correct it again and rub it again.
Yes, you have to. Till you get your answer correct, you have to correct your paper.
But teacher, there
Am
will
I
be-
clear on this?
Teacher-
So that it does not mean that somebody has to evaluate it. No, we are not, some great evaluators. You yourself are the best evaluator for your paper.
Teacher, for that pattern fix ना न्हू pattern कितें अशाच पद्धतीन जावपाक जाय पेपर
ना प्रत्येकाचो आता हांवें 90 डिग्रीसान केला तूं -90 करपाक शकता. That's why it is not mandatory that it has to be one fixed way, and that is the sole reason we do not show the code right from 610.
Now you forget the code. Nobody will get the code. You have to show your work now.
See, the entire logic is in the paperwork.
Paperwork.
Because if a person A has thought that this is the way I'm going to proceed, for example, simplest, consider a 10 gram. Aren't there different ways to get to the same shape using 10 grams? There are, right? If you take minus of an angle, you can get the same output. So there are different ways that you can come to the output. So that means your paperwork has to differ. And if it is not differing, that means you have either copied or you have not followed it. Am I clear on this? Why there is emphasis on paperwork is clear. So the paperwork is not for us. Paperwork is for you. It is to ensure that you are going in the right path and in the right direction. Clear? You have asked me for Going back to our day one, what is this? What I've written here? Contract. As per this contract, what it gives me? It gives me age, given the birth year, and the output is double. So what is this function's behavior? This is a function, right? This is a age function. So what is the behavior of this function? Yeah, but what is the behavior? When I say behavior, how does it work? If I increase the birth year, what happens to the output? Age will decrease or increase? If I increase the birth year, age will decrease. And vice versa. If I decrease the birth year, age will increase. Clear? So now, in this example, you understood what is a contract? You understood the behavior of a function. You understood what is a function. Given an input, it is giving you an output. Correct? Clear? Any doubts with this? Let me change this example now. What is this about? It takes in double, gives a picture. What is the behavior of this function? What happens to polygon?
the size of
number of sides.
As you increase the size of the polygon, what happens to the output? It tends to reach a circle. Right? The maximum polygon that you can have is a circle. Am I clear with this function? Contract, input, output. Thorough? Please note it. Third example. What about this? It's about a watch. Seconds in a watch. What is the behavior? is the minimum seconds that we can have? 0. What is the maximum seconds that we can have? 60. If it is starting with 0, it will end at 15. Okay? And हे सगळे आवडते झाले. आता एक आवडते घेतो. सगळी एक्झाम्पल आवडती झाले. आता एक आवडते एक्झाम्पल. Can anybody guess which is that? Sine. या फंक्शनचे बिहेवियर काय असते? मिनिमम that you can give is 0, maximum 15. Yeah, with respect to seconds. Okay, simple form of it I'll give you. इतना वेळा मी साइन कॉस केले नाही आता ताजेच पळोवया. Given the radius to be 1, if I rotate the radius to a new point here, x comma y, what do I get? I think so. Just now has explained this, no? Where does -1 come? Top or bottom? So what is the behavior here? Maximum value for x would range between +1 -1. As you increase the value for sine, maximum can range between +1 -1. In its simplest form. Can you all remember sine and cos now? With this, you don't remember anything else. Just remember this unit radius rotated point x comma y. And what is the behavior? As angle increases, the output will range for x between 1 to -1. As the angle increases, the output for y will range between +1 -1. See, as the angle increases, what is the maximum limit for angle to increase on x-axis? Between 1 to -1. 1 to -1, 180 degrees. I am not talking about degrees. I am asking you in terms of the values. 1, it ranges between 1 to -1. Similarly, what is the maximum that you can increase for the angle on y-axis is between 1 to -1. Clear with this? Easy to remember so far? ते आता सरांनी एक्सप्लेन केले नाही. 1 -1 कित्याक? The maximum you can have the variation is from 1 to -1. And always remember, cos comes for x, sine comes for y. Okay? This is the simplest that you have to remember. Now,
behavior of a function states what that function can do.
now see, when I meant behavior, I am just helping you to understand the contract. That is not in the mnemonics or to be followed. It is for your better understanding of the contract. Okay? How that function will internally give you the result in terms of its input and output. Over here we have 0, 90. Tell me the degrees now. 0 degrees, 45, 90.
135.
Here. Here. familiar with this? Please ensure. Sure? Can we proceed? If yes, open your Prerna accounts. First assignment is there, ready. You have to work it out. Those of you who do not have pages, please ask for the pages. In the question 2, I am only changing the values. So what you have to do? You are given the values there. You have to put it in the equation that is there on top and write your answer. But where you have to substitute the values? In the next example, we have an isosceles triangle. In the very first class, we had studied how to draw an isosceles triangle. How many of you remember? We had drawn this isosceles triangle in my first section. You remember the isosceles triangle? How did we draw it? Point and from path. We used lines to draw it, right? You remember or move to that point and then line to line. Correct? So using the same, I want you to draw the isosceles triangle with this length given to be 150 and here it is given to be 100. Now there was one very important question asked, why we are learning this sine and cos? So my submission to that, if you are sitting in this room, if you are asked to find what is the area of this room, how will you calculate? Length and breadth. Can you now tell me in terms of coordinates? What is the area? Can anyone tell me in terms of coordinates what is the area of this room? Possible? No. We need to know the calculations of the two sides and the angle. Correct? So now can you relate it? Why? Why sine comes? Why cos comes? Because if that was not there, we wouldn't have been able to get the real values and then change it as per our needs. पाले म्हाका दिसलें की ही भिंत उडोवची आनी मातशें भायर घेवचें एक्सटेंशन. परत म्हाका सगळं मॅप काड तें कॅल्क्युलेट कर ताच्या पेक्षा एका मिनटान हांव फक्त ही नवी लेंथ दिता, नवी ब्रेथ दिता, एंगल दिता, म्हाका एरिया मेळटा न्ही. So that is the implication why we are doing it, why we are learning. These modules that we are learning, how they are helping us to change. Before this we were attached to coordinates. Now we are going one step ahead. We are learning this form of change. Clear? Digesting? Okay. Okay. There is tea break. I would request you to come back quickly because we have got activity on this. You have to draw the isosceles triangle first, and then the question says you have to rotate it without using that translation. Think as you have your tea, how you are going to do it. The problem statement is you are given an isosceles triangle. You have to rotate the isosceles triangle by 30 degrees without using that's translated. Sorry, that's rotated. No making use of that's rotated, but you have to achieve the rotation. How will you do it? Think as you have your tea and get back. I want only the picture. Main point. How we are going to achieve the rotation. Right? This is the way you are writing the function for x and y, correct? Similarly, you are writing it for y. Math of sine of 60. Correct? Now over here, what is this first value? 100. What does it signify? Distance. Okay? Then what is this? Angle. Please make a note of this. And this whole together gives you the vertex. So angle, vertex, and distance together forms the function. Two radians. Math. No, it is correct. Last case. Distance. See, this is the distance. This is the angle. Together, x and y gives you the vertex. Angle, distance, vertex. Concept is clear? Together it gives the vertex. X, y. X point आम्ही कसं बरेता cos घालून बरेता. Y point आम्ही कसं बरेता sin घालून बरेता. आता teacher has a doubt. हांगा dot 2 radians and that is syntax. Closure होता. But this is what I am telling you is the main part of it. How you identify the x and y. 2 radians is closure syntax. Okay? You can submit at the end, not at the end. So, is your first solution clear to you now? Assignment 1 solution almost clear now. Assignment 1 हमें distance चाहिए. How far is the point? How far it is? 200. आता change करना. This is the implication now. Both ways we cannot manage. Tell the answer. And then for the last question number D, what was the question? If the distance is 100, what will be the value?
Angle is 50.
100 into cos of 50, 100 into man sin 50. X point, Y point. Clear to everyone? Yes. Monaco's doubt as to what is meant by sin, cos and X and Y. The moment I say cos, X. Moment I say sin, Y. Moment I say cos, you should always fix it in your mind. आता मैं म्हटलं खूप किती 100 क्वेश्चन नंबर डी आशिल्लो 100 इंटू हे आशिल्लें सो आमी कितें दिल्लें दोन वॅल्यूज दिल्ल्यो 100 वॅल्यू डिस्टन्साक 50 एंगल ऑफ क्लियर आन्सर इज दैट ओनली नो 100 into man sin 50 100 into man cos 50 x and y. Anybody having doubts still? What is meant by X? What is meant by Y? Please feel free to tell now. Because the last part is important. No doubts, right? So can anyone tell me? Okay, you write. I cannot ask also because all answers will change then. You write what is the answer for this rotation. So without using that rotated, how are you going to rotate it? Somebody can tell me softly. Okay, just look here. Huh? See, this was your original triangle, correct? This is how we learned to draw it in the first session. right? Now over here, 150 into math cos of 90, and then it is 0 into sine. Why? For this point over here, the distance over here is 100. What is the angle? 0. Correct? So it is 0.2 radians. Clear with this? Yes. Is everyone clear how this triangle is being drawn using the sine and cos values? Why the angle is 0 here? Because it is on the x-axis. Why the angle is 90 for this point? Because the angle that it prescribes is 90 in between. Then next, I'd ask you to rotate it. This is what you are to achieve, right? Now, what is the change that you see here? What is this angle? 30. So, if you notice, for the point which was at 100, the angle is 30. Please note this. This is very, very important. Okay? If you understand this, you can solve anything hereafter. Why the angle changes to 120 here? 90 plus 30. This is important. 90 plus 30. The angle prescribed between the two. While you are rotating, what happens over here? It is this angle, which is combination of 90 plus 30. Clear? For the value of this, it is only 30 degrees. But when you are calculating over here, it is at 120. Is this very, very clear to everyone? If you have understood this, you can solve anything hereafter. Any doubts?